Options port is up 7%. I missed my entry right now on another trade right now because I'm working on getting all the streams fired up. But I had my finger on the buy order, but I want to make sure everything is all up and running before I do it, all that stuff. You too? Oh man. Yeah, it has been an interesting morning. Yeah, I know. Massive sell-off. I know a lot of bulls were trying to catch the bid and they just got smoked. I actually scalped a few a few longs. You know, I was able to take advantage of getting a few longs in. All right, YouTube stream should be up now as well. All right, community, let's take a quick time out and look at the broader tape because we have some serious volatility out here today. If you are trading this blue sky eval with me, you need to know exactly what's driving the tape right now because the market is bleeding. Let's break down the big three moving the needle at the midday mark. The catalyst, crude oil, is going parabolic. So let's take a look at crude oil for a second. Pushing 96.65. We are up a massive 11% today, trading right around 96.69. This is the engine that driving everything else on your screens right now. We've got major geopolitical escalations in the Middle East, tanker strikes near Iraq, drone activity, and severe disruptions around the Straits of Hormuz. The market is pricing in a massive supply shock. Even with the news that the US and the IEA are coordinating a massive energy release from strategic reserves, the bulls are completely in control of oil today. NASDAQ is dumping. How does this affect us on the NASDAQ? When oil spikes 11% in a single session, Wall Street immediately hits the panic button on inflation. Higher energy costs means higher CPI, which terrifies growth in tech stocks. That's exactly why we're seeing the NASDAQ down over 1.6% for the day, shredding over 400 points to the 24,577 level. Sellers have been relentless, dropping us straight through key levels. If you're trying to catch a falling knife here, be careful. The trend is heavy. You might think all this geopolitical fear, gold would be catching a massive bid as a safe haven, and that has not been the case. Down 0.8% on the morning session, sitting around 5,133. Why? Because inflation fears from oil is likely sending bond yields higher, and when yields spike, non-yield assets like gold tend to take a hit. It's a tricky correlation day, which is why we trade the price action in front of us and not the news. So back to NASDAQ. Well, let's see. Let's head on over to that. Let's get to the 1 minute chart. So far, the rest of the session, we are keeping a very close eye on oil. If oil keeps squeezing higher, expect the pressure on NQ to remain heavy. We're going to stick to our setups, manage our risk tightly, and protect this blue sky capital. Let me know in chat when you guys are riding this momentum short, or are you guys sitting on hands waiting for the bounce? Cut the 2 a.m. run up. That was the most of my cheddar. Man, I got chopped up in the overnight session again, man. I'm not gonna lie. I just got annihilated in the mornings in the overnight session. Took some major hits. You know, one of my algos was in one of my accounts and it put me like massively down. And then I was already red in that, and I just started trying to rescue it, but I didn't have much leeway, like a few $100s. I ended up blowing that. And then I was done like 600 on another account. I've been able to pick at that, and I got it down to 344. So I'm down 344 in another account right now. So yeah, it's been a tough day. Why what? Why what, Ron? I'm not sure what your why what is about. Oh, why I lost money? Because I got chopped up in the overnight session, Ron. The range was so tight in the overnight session. It kept looking like we were gonna. I got So I got caught in this. I got a couple of scalps, but then it was like, we would catch the bounce, and then you think it's going to get the continuation, and then you didn't even get to the 200. You just rejected. You just get that instant sell. I got caught in that kind of stuff. I'd be writing in, and all of a sudden, boom. And then I'm like, okay, I got stopped out. I got stopped out for like $10, $5 in the money. That was just a reoccurring event for me in the overnight, over and over and over. I just kept getting that. It's just like, dang, man. You don't like the Asian market? I like the Asian market usually. Sometimes it can offer you some great trades. I was hoping that we would, catch a bid and maybe, test the daily high in the overnight, but I mean that didn't happen till like 2 a.m. or something, and I was already tired, man. I mean, day before yesterday, I wanted to sleep at like 5 a.m. So like me starting off with you guys, I was, I normally get up around 7:30. So, I only got like 2.5 hours of sleep before, I was just exhausted, man. I'm not a machine, man. I wish I was a machine that I could just do that kind of stuff, for you guys, but I'm not, man. And I'm 50 now, so I don't have the juice I used to have when I was in my 40s. I used to be able to stay up like 2 days and stuff, and be at the charts like that. And I just can't do it anymore, man. You just sleep until 1:45. Yeah. Well, I've got other stuff because, I've got other jobs I do, so I have other work. I have responsibilities too. So, I'm like working like around the clock, I work morning, day and night, so yeah, just tired, man. I'm a person, man. I ain't a machine, man. Yeah, I got a wife and 3 kids. So, I got to be dad too. Yeah, I trade across 3 brokerage accounts, and then I've got what, four, I got I got 3 evals and 2 PAs I'm running as well. So, and then among my other accounts, and then I also trade a options portfolio. And then if I see a decent trade, I'll go for a trade inside of NQ or Bitcoin or Solana. So I trade across the spectrum throughout the day. I just look for where I can find strength in the market. That's always what I'm looking for. Getting that rejection now, pulling this back under Friday's lows. That's at 24,607. And we're 3 minutes past the London close now, team. Still not holding for that upside. Bears are relentless. Next week, I have a bunch of questions. Yeah. Drop them in chat. Send me a DM. Don't forget, team, we've got a great podcast going on right now as well. So, if you guys are looking for insight, market prep for the week, we've got our podcast that comes out every Sunday morning. So definitely want to check that out. There's a link in the chat below if you guys want. That's our Spotify podcast. So if you guys want to check out our Spotify, check it out, because we work really hard on that, myself and all the coaches, to bring you that. Yeah, that's all 3 of the coaches. Well, I'm not the white guy, I'm the Mexican guy. So I'm on the far left-hand side. Yeah. Yeah, the other good-looking guys, they ain't me. I'm the old guy on that group. Well, I don't know. I think Coach Matt and me are like close to age. I am like, I'm very Castilian. That's the Spaniard in me right there, man. Yeah, because I'm Spaniard and French, and then there's like 10% Mexican in me, but I'm considered Mexican down here. But really, I'm more of a man without a country, you know? You know, in Mexico they call me a freaking gringo, and in the States they call me a freaking Mexican. So I don't know where I belong. I'm kind of like I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Like if someone tells me to go back home, I guess it would be literally my house. Go home. What, San Antonio? I wouldn't know any other place to go. All right, we're getting that sell now. Can we take a short on this? The seller's gonna take this down and give us a continued push. All right, I'm gonna get a little aggressive on here. I'm gonna put a short on this. I'm gonna see if we can get that continued sell. I like that we're under Friday's low. We're under the EMAs. Can we get some continuation and just a little cascading selling, or is this a load up for the bulls? We still got some support down at 24,574. All right, can we get that prior low? Short America. What's up, Nacho? Good morning to you, my friend. Good morning to you. Oh, I'm gonna do my best, bro. I'm gonna do my best. Not gonna go under this. You're probably right, Ron. You were right about us not going up the other day too, weren't you? You were like 110% right, right? You told us we weren't gonna go up, and then we ripped. I'm gonna counter trade you today, bro. I got out of my call. You gave me FOMO that day, dude. You gave me so bad of FOMO, man. Then that's just the disadvantage sometimes of hanging with other traders, is that they can really throw your bias off. I remember like sometimes I would be like struggling in the day and I'll just like dip out of VC because I just got to trade for myself. I'm like, all right, I don't like this. Let's scale back into this. Spot on that level. Let's see it. The wicked orange man. The bad thing about it is we're in a very manipulated market. You got a lot of people just saying whatever they want. Oil is flowing, oil's not flowing. Ships are being escorted by the US. They're not being escorted, and it just keeps adding to that narrative. All right, I'm going to add another con to bring my DCA into this. Oh, nice. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get that low. Mike just said though, we gotta break under. Stack another con in there. We need to get closer to the strike so we can get out of this. There's 4. Damn. Oh man. Okay. All right, let's see if we can. Oh man, this is really ripping on us now. Man, I'm gonna have to get out of this. Wait, let's see. Let's go 3. Oh man, this just went totally against me, man. Wow. It just ripped on me ugly. Okay. Boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess Ron was right. Sucker. You're right, man. I am a sucker. You're right. I am a sucker. You punked me. You did punk me, bro. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. Nah, I don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, bro. I don't feel bad. It's okay, man. It's all good. Hey, you know what? someone's gonna be a loser, and on a trade, there's always a loser on the opposite side of the trade. If it was me, better me than you guys. They trap bears. Yeah, oil is dumping right now. That's what I'm hearing. Man, what a day. The minister of Iran is saying that they are not laying mines. No mines. No mines. That's a nasty pullback, though. Let's see if we can get in on this. Let's see if we can start scaling into this. Maybe make up some of those losses real quick. We took a nasty $800 loss on that last trade. Jesus Christ. Man, they almost engulfed that candle, didn't they? Wow. Oh, yep. Exactly, Riz. There's always someone on the opposite side of the trade. I would say it's best to wait for extremes buying. Still made a lower high. Yeah, I'm trying to take more trades in the day. I I guess I'm not taking enough trades in the midday session. It's just a more difficult time of day, so I'm just gonna be taking more trades in the midday session with you guys. So yeah, I mean we haven't made up anywhere close to what we've lost here in the morning session, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can ride this. We're in a single MNQ con, so I guess there's something to be said about that. Maybe I guess. Let's see. Where's General? General is asking me what is going on. This is the range. They're gonna run stops on the long after VWAP. There is always another bust, dude. Day trades are only good when it's short. It goes fast if there's a good setup. New York, lunch, New York, short, but there has to be a setup. I get wrecked staying in past 11. Yeah, I mean, most traders do. Most traders do, but I guess we're here to take the trade, so we're gonna find the good setups and we're gonna force it. If we gotta force the trade, we're gonna force the trade here. So we're gonna make something happen. If we're gonna do this thing. So here we go. No guts, no glory is what they say, right? Limit to 3 micros. Man, I seen Breezy taking 20 micros. Mike's taking like 60 cons. I mean, I need to step up my game. I'm riding the short bus, it feels like all the time here. So I need to really step it up and I guess put on my big boy pants. We need some massive games. 60? No, I think he takes like 20, like no, he trades anywhere from what, like 20 to 30 contracts. It's not 60. It's like 20. I think what did before yesterday though, he had like some massive trade with like a bunch of cons, didn't he? He was like paper, or he was showing you guys. No, don't think that. Now, Mike takes massive size. We're holding. Will we hold this little bull flag here? Or are they going to give it up? Yeah, he'll do like 8 and then he'll go to 16, right? I think it is. Yeah, no. He's already big deep in profit, so he's able to take those big trades. That's the point, you know. You guys got to get to that growth to where you all can take that, you know, because he's just pointing out that, you know, you could stack in real high with leverage and then, you know, just a 10 points, you're rich. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of, you know, those compound gains. You know, if you guys are taking compound gains in your trades, you know, it allows you to just slowly build that up to where you can get to that point. Capital, exactly. That's the capital game. Yeah, Vodka Net. I don't know if you hang out on my streams ever, but I usually use MNQ and I usually use 3 MNQ cons. So that's exactly what I use on a daily basis. Thanks for pointing that out, though. That's why if you notice right here, we're actually on MNQ. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm actually trading MNQ here and with us right now. I'm not even trading a full size lot. Well, there come the Bears stomping this back in. Okay, let's get back in there. Now we're like 2 cons in. Let's grab one more, get our DCA properly into it. Oh, these sellers, man, they do not want to let this thing go. I'm not really sure. You blew an account yesterday, almost passing a Ninja. Insta tilt 5.52.5K. Yeah, you know, as a matter of fact, I got 2 evals that are very close to. I got one eval. I got 125K that I'm like less than $1,000 away from passing. I have another one that all I need is $300 to pass it. Yeah, I usually do 25Ks though. I don't do the 50. I don't do the really bigger account. I've got my BluSky 200K static. Yeah, I prefer the 25Ks. Your worst zones are, it's a very big tilt zone. Oh, nice. You got the static funded. Sweet. Yeah, you know what? Everybody's enjoying those. Why don't I go for the bigger accounts? Because you can't afford to buy those contracts. So why would you want to trade that? That's my thing. If you can't afford to buy a NASDAQ, if you can't afford to buy a NASDAQ con, why are you trading it? That's what I say. I mean, that's the core, my core belief. If I want to get good at anything, I want to get good at what I have available to me. Like I already know, and I do this. I trade in my live accounts, MNQ cons, like all the time. So why would I expose myself to more risk? I mean, look, 3 MNQ cons right there. I'm up $170. I've taken out almost a fourth of my loss for the morning already. You know, at the end of the day, I know I can go to AMP funding, you know, an actual brokerage, and with like $300, I could trade like 2 MNQ cons. I could trade 1 MNQ con, and I have a few $100s of drawdown for myself. And you know how you know it's just like anything else. There has to be the fundamentals and the basics that you have to master. You know, and I believe that the mini micros are that. I mainly trade MNQ and evals. I trade full size lots, but then on my self funded, I trade MNQ. You know, but then since I've been with you guys at the very beginning when I started streaming last year with you all, I used to trade full size lots. But then there's a lot of traders that they're not. Most of the community, they're all losing trading Nasdaq. It's just the brutal truth. And most of the guys that are watching on the interwebs, they're on social media. They might even be here in the Discord. You guys are blowing evals, maybe not even funded yet. So I can't show you guys trades on that because it's not fair. All I'm going to do is give you guys FOMO, and I'm going to teach you guys to use a higher leverage indice. You're not going to benefit from that. Me sitting here every day teaching you how to take a full size lot on anything with a godforsaken amount of contracts is stupid, in my opinion, because most of you guys are novice traders. You all don't have 6-7 years under your belt. And then you guys are going to get tilted. And then you're going to end up blowing accounts. And I'm doing a disservice to you guys. I'd rather show you guys a smaller lot size, show you guys some great trades. I mean, look at Breezy yesterday. Breezy killed like a $2,100 trade with 30 mini micros. I mean, that's 3 full-size lots. Don't get me wrong, but he scaled into it. You know, those are good, valuable lessons that you guys could be learning from. You know, how to use a mini micro, start scaling into the position, build it up to where you are getting that. And my thing is that if I can pass a 25K account, I can pass any kind of account. I know I can pass a 200, a 300K. I've done it before. It's just that I want it to be easier, and I don't want it to take as much time. You know, $1,500 in profit, that's not a lot of profit. That's not a lot of money if you stop and think about it. You know, we get back up to the top of this range, you know, we could probably be up $1,000 with just these 3 M&Q cons. I would almost practically kill that. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't blow accounts very much. Now, you know, the real problem I have usually is my algos. You know, my algos can take me out and, you know, take some disastrously terrible trades. You know, the best thing I could say is just size down. You know, if you guys are struggling, you know, if you're like, you need to make money, it's the worst combination to be a trader. You have this need and this drive that you have to do X, Y, and Z. You have to perform to this level to meet, you know, milestones for yourself, you know, whether it be, you know, make that profit target or whatever the case may be, you know, and that can be a really tough thing. Yeah, I'm hearing that Bitcoin is starting to move. Let's switch over. I got IBIT on here. Bitcoin is up 0.3% for the day. Wow, not bad. Did it hold the overnight? It did hold the overnight. I tried to go long right here last night. I got stopped out like in the money because it went up and then boom, it just dipped again, then went below. And then I just left it alone. I was tired. I was like, I'm already in like so much other crap. I was like, I'm exhausted. Yep, that's the way you do it, Affluent. That's the way you do it. That's exactly the way like Tipped and myself did it. Even like Tipped, he's in a self-funded. I think General is also going self-funded as well. Yeah, and that's what makes, you know, Blue Sky so awesome is that, you know, we're one of the few brokerages that are still moving traders over to a funded account. Yeah, it's really sad that a lot of the props are getting rid of that, man. You know, they're just getting rid of the, you know, going to funded accounts, putting my stops in the money. And I'm not putting one stop, I'm putting 3 different ones so that if I get taken out, it's one contract, not 2 or 3. Excuse me. Well, I think going funded is the best thing you can do. You know, I mean, at some point you're going to have that growth, and you want to have a lot of the limitations taken away. You know, I think that's probably just a personal preference, vodka. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the and the PAs are great because it allows you to leverage your money in ways that you couldn't. Oh, going straight to funded? I mean, I guess if you have money for it, I wouldn't recommend anybody to go straight to funded, though. I don't know many traders that do that, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Why would you want to go straight to funded? But you know, folks are funny out there. Oh, Blasky's got a code. He says use code dashboard for a $50 credit. What is that? $9 launch plans? Are you serious? $9? Dude. You guys heard that on the interwebs. Dashboard. Log in today at BluSky.pro and get that 50K launch plan for $9. That's insane. We never have sales. We've never had sales that cheap, I don't think. Yeah, $9. No, I don't think it's a static. No, that the launch plans are not static. More like, man, I was seeing stuff that they were saying that in 2050, a can of Coke is going to cost $10. You know that? I didn't even know that dropped. Good eyes on that, Blasky. It's like I'm going to get stopped out on this position now. It's like the Bulls don't want to take us. We got 2 minutes. Oh my God. Well, there it goes. And that's why we have separate stops. We're still somewhat in this. Man, I can't believe they came on and took me. Yeah, there's not a launch plan that's 200K static. They're just launch plans. All right, we got a minute for New York lunch. I think a few folks said we were going to sell into New York lunch. I think we might just get a slow grind up. We've already sold so far off, you know? I think it'll be easier for upside than downside. Will this stay intact? Look at that, man. Having those individual orders saved our hide. Otherwise, we would have gotten stopped out on that. You believe that? That's one thing I've been doing as of lately. I used to have like a sell order with like a bunch of contracts with the full amount. We're holding for now. Getting that move. Let's see if we can get our continuation. I like the 200K static though. That is probably one of my better. That's probably my favorite account that we have here. Lunchtime. All right, team. Welcome to New York lunch. You know what that means. We could see a choppy session, or we could see some kind of displacement and possibly an expansion test of the range. So we'll see here. So far, the market does look like it wants to push to the upside. We shall see, though. Goes the NQ getting that rejection, stuffing it back down. Nice. Congrats. You got a launch plan for how many can we get? You bought a 200K? Yeah, I'm going to take a look after. I might just load the boat. I wish we could get more accounts. I wish we could at least get like maybe like 5 to 10 accounts. That would be cool. I would like that more if we could have like 5 to 10 accounts. What do you guys think? Would you guys prefer to have more accounts? The capability to have more? You'd like 5? Yeah. Like at least 5 accounts, You have 3 max. That trade's working out well for us now. Saw that stop out, saved us. Man, I tell you guys. Not too bad though. We're up $100 on this MNQ con. Where do you guys like to add a con? Do you like to add a con on the pullback or as it's getting the expansion adding on? Thanks. And why would I prefer the 200? Because it's a static account that gives you the most growth. So if you're looking for if you're patient, I'm pretty patient person. If you're patient, you can grind it out, and it's the closest you can have to like a live brokerage account. All the way through it. Well, there you go. 200K static is only $29. That's the best. That's an incredible deal. The consistency rules and the overall rules to pass that eval probably make it one of the ones that, if you're a novice trader, it'll give you the most room for error. You can, think about it. You only have to make about 1.9K a day to pass that in like 3.5 days. That's all you really need to make in that kind of account for it to really go. Wow, look at us go, man. Man, you guys won't even believe it. I was actually gonna buy. Oh my god, why does it have to be like this? Like I was gonna scoop those up. I was gonna pick up those IWN calls, and they're sitting at $1.71. I had my buy order set. And they're sitting at $1.72 now. Oh my god. There's too much stuff going on though. Oh Lord. Do you need to go back to options? We've got stocks. You guys can buy stocks with us now. You can use Volumetrica and you can trade stocks. I wish we could get options. Options would be insane. No, I don't do my taxes with Webull. My wife does my taxes. Yes, yes, that is Webull's platform. Yes. Well, look at that, Ron. You got that straight line up, bro. I hope you took that trade, bro. Yeah, we're just managing this trade right now, trying to see if it's going to hold for us. Nasty rejection here on the market, pulling back significantly here. There's 24,661. Almost out again. Poor General. He's sheesh. Man, what are they gonna do? Kamikaze this market here? Oh man, I guess they forgot they left me behind in that trade. So of course they gotta come and grab me, right? The market can't rip without stopping me out, that's for sure, right? The IRS got you. You posted that like 15 minutes ago. Well, it looks like it's 2 minutes ago. It says on the time stamp, it says 11:06. I just saw that right now. I'm sorry I didn't point that out sooner. You wish you were sized up. I mean, it really depends on where you're at. Vodka. I mean, you made money on it. That's why I don't want to trade any more in my options account. I'm up like 7% for the day, and usually I'll get my 1-2 trades out in the morning, and then I'm profitable. And then if I go back in, I'll lose what I've made. So I'm kind of missed it, Then we can shake the sellers off the market. Look at that. Coming into New York lunch. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Look at that engulfing candle. That is disgusting on the 10-minute. Look at that. They just engulf that little baby bullish candle. Wow. This is disgusting. You know what, Ron? It also ruins my confidence in your technical analysis, bro. You know? I thought you were gonna make us a ton of money, Ron. Bro, I thought you were gonna take us to Valhalla, bro. I got my Viking gear on. I'm ready to go. I'm like the techno Viking trading over here. And that's why you don't marry your bias. But you're stopping the money, manage those positions. That's unfortunately what happened to me the majority of the morning. I've gotten stopped out most of the morning session, but in my accounts, I'm still green, So, it just becomes hard, that's where like you guys might even struggle as traders is that, you get stopped out and you're protecting your assets, but at the end of the day, you're still creating base hits. Your compound gains are so important, especially if you want to be in this game for longevity. You need those compound gains because they'll add up, especially at the beginning of your career. That's right. That's right, RQ. We want proof. We need to see a ring, or we're gonna send you home. And I know what you're gonna say. I'm already home. That's disgusting. Breakout, fake out. Oh my god. $76. Yeah, he had a second. It was close to green. We attempt this long. Let's try this long again. We're under the 200. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna try this out because yeah, I know. I like the rejection. Let's see if we can tap it again. 13 minutes into New York lunch. And don't forget, guys, this can be a chop. This can be some of the, most challenging part of the day here. We don't have institutional buyers, so that is a good thing. It's only retail. But, we're just hoping to see if we can catch a trend here before the end of New York lunch because, the end of New York lunch can turn very, very flat for us. Not that I don't want to ruin the gains. Going to trade blue on Ninja. Shouldn't be trading that shit. There's no platform that is better for me for my style of trading. You know what I would honestly say? Vodka is give us a shot, man. Here in the next week, we've got Trade C coming on. And from what I've seen, Trade C looks really, really nice. It looks like a great platform, you know? The folks from Rhythmic spent a ton of money developing it. The AI tools that are integrated are awesome. So, you know, awesome. There's another $100 trade for us right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can take it. Let's see if we can make up those losses. Also, what pissed me off about Steve is that they won't pay my LLC S corp, only personal. So I have to jump extra hoops and assign the personal income as a business. It's stupid. If I was smart, I would have taken all those 6K out and I ended up with only 1.5K with 1K left. Blew out big last month. It's been 1.5 years trading every day, past 23 combines last year. Only kept four on poop step and one here on blue. Yep, that's a no-go for me. Well, maybe we could talk to the team about getting more accounts, you know? If we can get, you know what, if enough of you guys want it, we can do it, you know, but we just have to have the community see that they want it. You know, Rich is in here. He's listening. I know Rich is listening, you know? Steve probably not, but Rich, I'm pretty sure is. So, you know, you guys just got to start saying, hey, what you all want, what you'd like to see. You know, we're only as good as what our community lets us know that they're looking for. You know, if you guys are looking for something of ways, if you guys have ideas of how we could improve to be even more of the best prop in the industry, then let us know. I mean, all of us, we have a weekly meeting on Wednesday of how we can improve our product lines for you guys. What can we offer you guys more as an added service? How can we go above and beyond, you know? A fresh towel? Housekeeping? Housekeeping? Right? I like this place for sure. I think five five some funded is a sweet spot. I agree with you. I think it'd be cool if we could have that many. You're tired of waiting? It's always a waiting game on Moro. You guys know that. Steve, send me your auto trader, homie. Shh. I don't know how you're gonna get that, man. It looks like we're holding now. I put my stop in the money. I put my stop at 24,630. But we've had some ugly volatility here through the whole morning session. So you guys be careful with your trades. Looks like the Russell is starting to get some volume to the upside. See two green candles on the 5 minute for it. Yep. JD 250 payouts. Woo, woo. I don't blame you. Mm. Just wait till you see the new platform. It is really nice. It's going to give you guys exactly what you all want. Still holding. Still holding. There you go, Ron. There's Ron. You got resistance. But you have all that. You have all that with the Trade of 8 accounts. All you have to do is log into your Trade of 8 account and you can set all that. You can put a daily max loss. You can put a lockout. You have all that available inside of the Trade of Eight side. So if you get a Trade of Eight account, those options are there. They've been there for like at least a year. I'm almost positive it's been there for almost a year. New platform is Trade C. That's coming here in the next week. We're hounding support like every day if we can get access. The coaches haven't been onboarded. I think I don't even know who has access to it. I think Makaram and Rich have access to it, but none of the coaches. And there we go. There's that rip. Imagine if I was in three cons. Oh my god, that'd be like $600. I'd be like green for the day. Man, why didn't I get those calls? Man, those calls would be like, oh my god, there'd be so much money. They're at $2. They're at $2. I'd be up like 100 and I'd be up like what, like $120 per con? No, I would be up like $160 a contract right now. Yes, and Trade of Aid just released a lockout option, so that is on there as well. I'll be honest with you, I don't use lockouts. I don't use the lockout. I never use a lockout. But then again, I can pretty much say, hey, you know what, I'm done. You know, like last night I was at a loss. I was in a loss in my 25K and I stopped. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop, you know. It was just a few $100, but I can pretty much like, buckle in and just, know I'm gonna stop. But then again, I've burned myself. I've already paid that cost of education. Stopping here made 314 a contract. Nice. Per micro. That's right, Affluent. Have a great day. Congrats. Oh, look at that. You can get a pat on the back. Do you want a pat on the back, though? And get yourself one of those, guys. No, no, but for real, congrats to you. Congrats to you. That's a great trade right there. Not like me being foolish over here, holding on to this thing for dear life. About 5 minutes from the bottom of the hour. Ooh, there's that range again. Jeez. Rejected. Yep. I mean, that's how it feels like when Mike is talking about the price action, right? Because he's like saying what you're